be talking with Jonathan Bradley, who's been practicing Diamond Way Buddhism since 1997. In this segment, we will be learning the meditation on Buddha. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hi, happy to be here.
I'm glad you are here. So tell me a little bit about Diamond Way.
Well, Diamond Way Buddhism is a school of Buddhism that is part of the larger Tibetan Karma Kagyu lineage. Karma Kagyu lineage is a 1,000-year-old history in Tibet and another 1,500-year history back to the historic Buddha Shakyamuni. The reason why Buddhism looks and feels differently in different parts of the world is that of the 84,000 teachings left behind by the historic Buddha, different collections of those teachings moved into different geographic locations. And the Karma Kagyu lineage, a collection of teaching and practices, moved into Tibet, as we said, about 1,000 years ago, through the very hard work of a man named Marpa. He brought the teachings from the Indian yogis into Tibet, where he sort of founded what is known now as the Karma Kagyu lineage. Diamond Way Buddhism is a sort of Western lay arm of this lineage. We have about 700 centers around the world, 30 in the United States, and we're pretty much on every continent. The activity that is Diamond Way Buddhism was founded by my teacher, Lama Ole Nydahl, and his wife Hannah. They were the students of the 16th Karmapa. The Karmapas for 900 years have been the head of the Tibetan lineage, the Karma Kagyu, and they became his first Western students. And after training with him for many years in India, they were asked to share these teachings with the West. And through a lot of collective inspiration, meeting of a lot of students, and as in a very grassroots and volunteer way, we built all of these centers around the world.
And you've been involved in it since 1997?
Since 1997.
So we're going to be doing a practice today. And what practice will we be doing?
We'll be doing a meditation on the form of Buddha Shakyamuni, this golden form that everyone is familiar with.
So you mean the Buddha?
The Buddha, yeah.
The character we often think of as the Buddha. We kind of know what he looks like in different traditions. The little chubby Chinese guy and the other Tibetan guy, but the Buddha.
More or less, yeah. I mean, actually, the chubby Chinese guy I've heard is a fertility god, and actually isn't necessarily related to Buddha. But
oh, really?
Yeah, we'll be using a form that's probably familiar to most people, which is a golden, athletic form. Where Buddha sits straight, he holds a bowl in one hand and touches the earth with his right hand, and probably generally recognizable to most people. And we'll be meditating on this form that not only, it doesn't represent a person in this meditation. Buddha is not a person. Buddha is, this image represents the activity of realizing our mind. It's like a mirror, something that shows us, it's a gateway to understanding our experience, our mind on a deeper level. So we open up to the influence of this Buddha form, we'll receive some lights and say a mantra, and basically see what happens when we push these buttons in our mind.
See what happens. And what, I don't know, we'll talk about it afterwards. I was going to say, well, tell me what could happen, but we'll talk about it afterwards.
Well, I like to say individual results may vary. I mean, this is a complete Buddhist practice, so, I mean, what you really need is, the right motivation, some understanding about, the urgency and opportunities that we have right here and now, and also a frame of reference. And for all Buddhists everywhere, the primary focus or the representation of our goal, why we meditate, is Buddha. And so we're meditating directly on our goal.
So in a minute we'll try it, but before we do that, can you tell me a little bit about what we will be doing? Kind of a little step-by-step-ish.
Well, it's a visualization, and perhaps the word visualization is a little misleading in the sense that we're calling this image to mind. We don't have to see it in our eyes. We don't have to have a super clear picture. We just have to know that this is what we're doing. It'll appear. We'll interact with it. We will also activate its qualities through using a mantra. And then there'll be a point where we'll just sort of rest in the influence or blessing of the Buddha and maybe come out and see the world a different way.
You think the lights will be brighter?
Well, we're pretty good at meditating on lights in space, so the lights in the
Wow, I
lights in
see all these
here, you know, it's
lights.
okay. I feel right at home.
And this practice that we'll be doing is sort of the introductory Diamond Way practice. Is that correct?
It's a meditation that we use in situations like this, where we're on television or invited to different, you know, public venues and so on.
Mm-hmm.
If you come to our center in Manhattan, we'll do a slightly more deeper practice. But because here, this is television, this is maybe a virtual experience for people watching, you know, we save some of the extra push,
Mm-hmm.
the extra juice for when we have a real live human experience together in the center.
Yeah.
Sort of a little bit more of a horseshoe in the boxing glove when you share these things in real life.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do a little bit of a sample. And so can we do that now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Will I have, never mind, I was going to make some joke, like, will I be enlightened afterwards?
I mean, I
won't-
hope that you are, but, you know,
Maybe not.
sometimes it takes a little time.
Possibly
Yeah.
not.
So I'll be reading it,
Okay.
and so you and everyone home can follow along.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are sitting in chairs. So the most important thing with any kind of meditation is we want to keep the back a little bit straight and the gaze just a little bit down. If we were sitting on the floor, we would sit cross-legged with our right leg on top of our left, but this is not
If
so
we could
important.
do
Yeah, it's not so important. And breathe throughout the nose, in and out through the nose.
Okay.
And if you find that you become distracted, you just simply bring your mind back to what we're focusing on. And, you know, I like to say that if you can read a book, you can meditate, so just follow along. We sit as straight as possible and feel the formless stream of air coming and going at the tip of our nose. We let thoughts and feelings pass without evaluation. For the good of all, we now want to meditate. Therefore, we open up to the Buddha, who expresses the inherent enlightenment of all beings. Out of space in front of us condenses the golden, transparent form of a Buddha, a radiant field of energy and light. His face is golden and mild. He sees us, knows us, and wishes us everything good. His essence is here, whether a clear image is perceived or not. We understand that Buddha is not a limited being, but the expression of the truth and joy of space. He represents the full realization of body, speech, and mind. And we strongly wish to accomplish his enlightened qualities for the benefit of all. As he feels our wish, Buddha smiles and comes ever closer through space until he remains at a pleasant distance in front of us. We wish, dearest Buddha, please show us the power which removes the ignorance and obscurations of all beings and ourselves. Let mind's timeless light be recognized inside us. Now a strong, clear light radiates from between Buddha's eyebrows and enters the same place in our forehead. Our head is filled with powerful clear light. The light dissolves all disturbing impressions in brain, nerves, and senses. All causes and imprints of harmful actions disappear, and our body relaxes. It becomes a conscious tool for protecting and helping others. We retain the clear light for as long as we wish and experience the syllable Om. Emanating from Buddha's throat, a radiant beam of red light shines out. It enters our mouth and throat and dissolves all difficulties in our speech. All impressions of harmful and confused words disappear, and we become conscious of our speech. It is now compassion and wisdom, a powerful tool for benefiting others. Along with the red light, we experience the syllable from the heart level. In the center of Buddha's transparent body, an intense blue light shines out. It fills the middle of our chest. Everything harmful now leaves our mind. Disturbing feelings and stiff ideas dissolve, and our mind becomes spontaneous joy. It is space and bliss inseparable. Together with the blue light, vibrates the syllable Om. Now all three lights enter us at the same time. Clear light fills our head, red light our throat, and blue light our heart center. We rest effortlessly in this state and feel complete. We'll now use a mantra or a vibration which lets the activity of all Buddhas work through us. This mantra is Karmapa Cheno, and we can say it loudly or inwardly. Karmapa Cheno, 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 Karmapa. The Buddha dissolves in front of us and becomes rainbow light. He promises to be there when we need him and returns back into space. We rest for a moment and realize that whatever may appear is the free play of space. From this open vastness, this world and all worlds appear, perfect and pure. Every atom vibrates with joy and is kept together by love. All is fresh and meaningful, radiant with unlimited potential. All beings have the Buddha nature, whether they know it and act meaningfully or not. At the end, we wish that all the good that has just appeared becomes limitless and leads all beings to the only lasting joy, that of knowing mind. And that concludes the meditation.
So why would we want to do this particular practice?
This is a method that allows us to identify with our own nature, our own
Buddha
enlightened nature. It's like at first we see it outside, and at a certain point we realize that we cannot see enlightenment outside if we don't already have it inside. So meditations like this, where we meditate on different Buddha forms, are like looking in a mirror. And until we, normally when I look in the mirror, I see this face every day. But in this case, we're seeing our own true nature reflected back at us. And not so much in this practice, but in many others, we mix with that. And it's almost like we put the mask of the Buddha on until it doesn't come off. We actually realize that it is our face. So it's a way to meditate that is directly related to the fruition or the goal of meditation. There are other kinds of meditations where we stabilize our mind in certain ways. We become less impulsive. We work with beyond personal motivation. This creates a surplus of impressions in our mind where we can jump outside of what we think we know. A meditation like this combines those elements. We focus, we apply the right motivation, but we also have a reference point that embodies or represents the goal itself. And by opening up to the influence of that form, our mind is influenced and we become used to more and more what we actually are. The outer teacher becomes the inner teacher, which awakens our own Buddha nature.
So is this a practice that people do on their own, or is this a practice that people really just do within the group?
Well, when we start in our centers, we encourage everyone to meditate together. We kind of have a big sort of family style approach. We're all very good friends, and it's good to be there with others in a group because you get to share the experience with others. That can help people focus and become comfortable and get a feeling for what this meditation is all about. And then there are meditations that like one can take home and work on their own. But we really...
But this would not be one of them.
This is one we do when we're
group.
out like this. The meditation that we do at the center is similar to this. It's a meditation on our teacher's teacher, the great 16th Karmapa, Rangjung Rinpoche Dorje. And he, of course, represents the same as the Buddha. And there's a bit more of a direct connection that happens between the Lama's mind and our mind in this practice. But something that we do in the centers, and we keep it as a live experience, you could say. So it's a little bit, it's very similar, but it's different. I mean, the kind of Buddhism that we practice in our centers is we're mostly meditating on Buddha forms. There's not so much formless meditation. There is like a formless point where the Buddha dissolves and we dissolve and our mind rests in this space. But to get to that point, we're always meditating on different Buddha forms, saying mantras and things like that.
So it takes different forms. So one of them is the visualization that we just did. There's also the mantras, and then there's other types that you do, but they're all the idea with connecting to either the Buddha or a Lama or...
Well, in these kinds of meditations, there's two parts. There is what they call the creation stage, and then also the completion stage. And the creation stage is what we were doing here, where the Buddha appears out of space. We interact with this form. We open up to its influence. The more that we are available to the influence of the qualities of the Buddha, the sounds, the lights, the vibration of the mantra, the more profound the moment becomes when the Buddha dissolves and we melt together. It's not something we did in this meditation, but it's something we do in the center.
So we're almost out of time, but I have one quick question that I want to ask you about, which is when I was doing this practice with the eyes open, I wanted to, in the practice of doing a visualization, I wanted to move my eyes up, you know? You know, like as if you're thinking about something or when you're trying to visualize. Now, where was that, you know? And it was a challenge for me to keep my eyes down.
You can do it, you can hold your eyes in two different ways. You can close them, which might be easier if you're looking around. But classically what they say is you can also keep your eyelids like slightly closed, but open, like if you're looking through your eyelashes. And then they say you can imagine that you're looking at a point that is 16 fingers out from the tip of your nose. There's some esoteric meaning about that we're actually breathing in like different aspects of the elements that comprise our reality in this sort of cycle of breath. But essentially it's just a reference point that helps you breathe deeply and also allows your eyes to settle in the right point. There's some very subtle postural aspects to this meditation that help one focus and open up to the form that we're meditating on. That's one of 8.
Well, it's been very nice talking to you and getting the introduction to this practice. We'll be doing another segment, so thank you for coming for this one.
Super. Thank you for having me.